And just like that, things are all right in the world. Welcome into Ravens Rundown, everybody. I am your host, Joey Petersen, and we are instantly reacting to the Baltimore Ravens 30-23 victory over the Los Angeles Chargers on primetime Monday Night Football. Primetime Jackson was back in full force. Of course, Derrick Henry was back, and in a big way for this team. It was an awesome night. Truly was an awesome night. You were clicking on pretty much every level of the football. Lamar didn't have the best first quarter. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But, man, your defense played well when you needed them to. They were able to get to the quarterback. The secondary, I think, played another really good game, stacking game upon game after that Steelers game. But, man, at the end of the day, you just beat a team that, in my opinion, you were supposed to beat. And I don't think the score necessarily represents how different this game actually was on paper, okay? Right, that final is 30-23, but you go up 2 touchdowns with like 5 minutes left in the game. You had the ball at one point as well, and you could have put the foot on their throats, but you didn't, and then they scored a garbage time touchdown, okay? And so, yes, you won the game by 1 touchdown, but you really won the game by 2. You could have won the game by more if you were fully playing, and now you stand at the top of the wild card. Right? You passed the Chargers for that spot. You're still behind the Steelers for the AFC North, but you got a lot of room to make that up in the next 5 games or so, okay? But let's talk about this game. Let's talk team stats first of all, okay? The total yards, it was definitely in favor of Baltimore. 389 total, 285 for the Chargers. 19 first downs each. Baltimore was 8 for 15 on third downs, just a little bit over 50%. And, man, this defense was solid on third downs, okay? They got just a little bit above 33% of their third downs. Penalties, you still had a lot of penalties. You had 9 for 102. Now, a lot of those came kind of at the end of the game, that final drive for the Chargers. A lot of pass interferences, a lot of things like that. Some of them were penalties, some of them weren't. Time possession, pretty much similar in that, okay? So, all that being said, we're going to go into more depth in just a little bit, but I got a question for you guys. What is your one-word reaction to tonight's game? You're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break. This will be the pinned comment on today's video. So to make that time go by just a little bit faster, scroll down to the comment section, find this for me, and give me your one-word reaction. It could be something like awesome, or or let's go. I don't know. That's 2 words. You guys can do it better than I am. Go down to the comment section and comment for me. Let's talk our QB1 first, Mr. Lamar Jackson. Started the day off, I think he was like 1 for 7 for 2 yards. Really started this game off slow, but then he kind of found a rhythm. Found a rhythm towards the end of that second half, and then kind of carried away all the way into in that first half. Then that carried all the way into the second half, okay? He was 16 for 22 on the day, 177 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then he was pretty dynamic running the football as well. Okay, the stats don't necessarily say that, but he did have 8 carries, 15 yards, a touchdown. His longest was 10, and that was a 10-yard touchdown run as well. But the player of the game, in my opinion, is Mr. Derrick Henry. 24 carries, 140 yards, 27 was his longest. He had a stretch late in that second half where he had 3 straight first down runs. And we knew going into this game that if you're going to beat this Chargers team, who on paper looked like they were good at defending the run, but when you looked at the stats and the teams they played, they haven't played very many good teams at running the football. And so you knew if you were able to establish run early and often with Derrick Henry, you had a good chance of winning that game, and boy, did they do that. Man, he was dominant. This is the first game I've seen him be that dominant in the past couple of weeks, okay? He wasn't all that great against Pittsburgh. Again, they didn't give him a lot of carries. Wasn't all that great against Cincinnati. Again, they didn't give him a lot of carries either that game. And so, man, love seeing the King get his thing, okay? Do his thing. He was phenomenal, and man, he's still one of the best backs of football. So now you got to look at Todd Monken. You got to look at John Harbaugh and say, this needs to be every game. We looked at the stat earlier in the week. Anytime he has more than 20 carries, this team wins the game, okay? His average carries and wins is like 20.5. His average carries and losses is like 15.5, okay? And so you win the football game when you give him the ball, okay? Zay Flowers had a pretty solid game. 5 receptions, 62 yards, 25 was his longest. He's just so shifty with the ball in his hands. They didn't give him the ball much. It was pretty obvious, especially in that second half, that running the football was going to be this team's mantra. And honestly, Lamar did a pretty good job at kind of spreading the wealth throughout the pass catchers. Mark Andrews, 5 receptions, 44 yards. He had one of the best touchdown catches of the season. 16 yards was his longest. I mean, guys, absolutely mossed somebody in the back of the end zone. And the thing was, the ref didn't call it a touchdown to begin with, and then they all reconvened and were like, no, he freaking caught that ball, okay? Speaking of another great touchdown catch, Rashad Bateman fought through contact, caught the ball in the corner of the end zone. Beautiful dive, 40-yard pass from Lamar to Rashad. And, just an all-around pretty solid game for these pass catchers. Really was happy with the way that they played today, okay? So I just listed a ton of people on this offense. And if you were to pick one of them, or really anybody from the entire team, who is the MVP of this game? You let me know in the comment section down below, okay? Is it Lamar? Is it Henry? Is it, I don't know, maybe Nate Wiggins? He played pretty well. Maybe it's Rashad Bateman. You let me know in the comment section down below. I got to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that's our friends over at Fanatics. And right now, they've got Nate Wiggins jerseys on sale. I know he's not number 1. He's number 2. These are from the draft. But still, you can get his jersey on Fanatics for $90 only. $90 for a jersey. Go to chatsports.com/Wiggins. Perfect holiday gift. We know we got Christmas coming up. You got aunts, uncles, brothers, cousins, dads, grandparents, all these things to buy presents for. Might as well get them a Nate Wiggins jersey while you're at it. Head to chatsports.com/Wiggins to do so. Let's talk defense because, man, this is like, in my opinion, they've shown me a lot over these past 2 weeks. And if you think about it, they were great against Denver, they were awful against Cincinnati, and then they were great against Pittsburgh, and then they were great again tonight against Los Angeles. And I know they had their warts, right? Los Angeles scored pretty much at will that first drive of the game. But, other than that, you let up what? 3 straight field goals to make that 16 points total, and then they got a garbage time touchdown at the end? Man, this defense, when it's drives that count, so every drive last week against the Steelers, and every one today, after that last one because it was garbage time, they've been really, really solid, only letting up 1 touchdown, okay? So this pass defense might be rolling into form, okay? They were able to get pressure on Herbert all night long. They got to him so many times. I believe 4 sacks at the end of the night. Kyle Van Noy got in on there. Malik Harrison, I thought, did great stepping in for Roquan Smith. That's a tough place to step into, and he did phenomenal. Did Justin Herbert make some good throws? Yes. But honestly, at the end of the day, I think this pass defense made amazing pass breakups against guys like Quentin Johnson, guys like Ladd McConkey. I felt like they were all over the place for 60 minutes. And when we looked at this team at the halfway mark of this season, we said, you know what? This offense is good enough to win a Super Bowl. This defense isn't good enough to win a Little League game. And I think that's changed now, okay? I really think that's changed now. I hope it's changed now. Because if it has, this team has a legit chance to win a Super Bowl if they keep playing defense like the way they've been playing defense, okay? So overall, you won a Monday night game against a team who had won 4 straight, and they were hot. They were red hot. And you started off ice cold, and they started off red hot. And you fought through adversity. You rallied together as a team. You were losing your leading tackler. You had your best interior defensive lineman playing, but not at 100%. You had your center playing, but not at 100%. And you came together, and you won this football game in the primetime lights. Now that turns Lamar Jackson on Monday Night Football to 7-2. He's already the best primetime quarterback since 1970. And he just keeps adding to that resume. Okay, so, well, fantastic night. Really happy for these guys. They played their butts off. They deserved everything they had. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. We went live. I said last night. I meant tonight. We were live tonight, and it was an absolute blast. We had our highest audience ever We got the most likes on a stream ever. It was a lot of fun, And so we're going to be live next week again on Sunday against the Eagles. If you guys haven't already, make sure you join the channel. We have over 23,000 subscribers now rocking with us here on Ravens Rundown. Make sure you are the next one and hit that subscribe button down below.